Hey, hi guys. Okay. Sir, I will see you. So guys, yeah. Please sir, how are you? I'm doing great, thank you. Okay, so we can move ahead now. I will talk about virtual private cloud, okay, which is VPC. Now, what is a VPC is or a virtual private cloud? Can you tell me what is a VPC or a virtual private cloud, guys? Okay, virtual private cloud is basically a virtual network where we can launch the AWS resources in a logically isolated environment. Okay, so virtual private cloud is a customizable virtual network where we can launch AWS resources in a logically isolated environment. In a logically isolated environment. So, let's suppose, okay, you want to create a machine or you whenever let's suppose for now whenever you are creating a EC2 machine, it where it will be created up, it will be created in one of the default network. So whenever there is a virtual, whenever you are creating any resources, as of now it is created in a default network or default VPC. Okay, it's just a network. Okay, it's just a network which is there, basically, I can say a range of IP addresses. So till now, whatever you can only create some, you can create the resources, let's say EC2 machine in a network only. I can only create a EC2 machine in a VPC, but till now we are creating VPCs, we are creating RDS. They were created in the default VPC. So there used to be two types of VPC. One is a default VPC and second one is a custom VPC. Till now, this is by default. You get one, okay, you get one VPC in all regions. So one in, let's say, North Virginia, it would be one VPC, one default VPC. In Mumbai, there would be one default VPC. So you will have one VPC in all the region. Okay. Okay. By default, whatever we are creating, it's being created in the default VPC only. Okay. Here, by default, it is connected, or the network, by default, the network is connected to internet. Now your companies will never ask you for the default VPC. They will always ask you to create a custom VPC. So it is a VPC, it is a network which we create, which we can customize, and create it as per the need and requirement. As per the need and the requirement. As per the need and the requirement. It's a network which is getting created up. So we have a custom VPC, custom virtual private cloud. We have a default VPC, which is a default virtual private cloud. And custom VPC is, okay, like for every client, we need to create a custom VPC, which is a network. Create a custom VPC within which are resources. VPC, which is nothing but a network wherein all our resources, wherein all the resources would be created. I hope you are understanding. Please confirm yes or no. Okay. It basically provides a logically isolated AWS. We can create the AWS, or what does it do? Okay, yeah. We can launch the AWS resources like EC2 in a logically isolated environment. So I can have up to five VPC in a region. We can have up to 5 VPC in a region. So if we are having up to 5 VPC in a region, okay, so all of them, whatever resources you are creating in this network, in all these 5 will be isolated. It is including the default one. So 4 plus 1. You can delete the default also if you don't need it. But yes, whatever resources we are going to create in each of the network, they will be isolated with each other. They will have their own private IPs. So two machines in two different networks cannot directly talk to each other. So VPC is something which is really we need to understand. Now, most of the times in the company, this is being created by the system administrators who are setting up the stuff because they need to configure it with your VPN, like your office VPN, something like that. So you already get it in your companies, but still we should know how to create it up. Okay. We can configure it. We call it as a VPN, VPC peering, in which two VPCs can talk to each other. Okay. Let's see how we can do it. Please take a note of it. Now, let's see the further. Let's move further. How does it look like? See, we have a VPC in a region in the AWS account. This is a network which we will create. Okay. So this is a network. Let's suppose we have an IP address. We give an IP address, any IP address you can give it. Let's say 10 point, let's give the 10 range. 10.10.0.0. Any number you can give, or in fact 10.0.0. 10.0.0.0/16. Okay. Now what is this 16 is? 16 is basically CIDR block range. It's a part of networking, not a part of AWS. It remains same if you're working on any of the cloud. It's CIDR block range. Block range is there. Now what is CIDR? CIDR is classless inter-domain routing. Classless inter-domain routing is basically CIDR. Okay. So what exactly this 16 means? It means that 16-bit network or 16 bits I'm giving to network, which means 10, this is of 8 bits, 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 and this is of 8 bits. So 8 plus 8, 16 bits, which means 10.0, I'm giving it to the network, which means whatever will be created inside it, whatever resources, or if we are creating some subnets, we can divide a network into some isolated subnetworks also. That will always should start from 10.0. It is like if any resource or is created inside this VPC, will always start from 10.0. Always start from 10.0 only. Are you getting it? Please give me a quick confirmation here. Are you able to understand? Yes or no? Right. Are you understanding it? Please confirm. Okay. This is what the CIDR, classless inter-domain routing, actually means. This is what the classless inter-domain. Yeah, that's range. You can change it as per, you can search it on internet and you can just change the ranges. But this is what we generally use it as default. Okay. Repeat, please. Which part you have not understood? Please tell me, Rahul. Because everything, whatever I explained, I have written on the screen also. Okay. See, whenever we give an IP address, what we do is we give the IP, like there's a range, right? Like 0 to 192. Okay, that range is there. So here, let's say I'm giving the IP address to 10.0.0.0. I can give it and /16. Okay, your company will tell you all these stuff. Let's suppose for now I'm giving it. I will put /16. Now what is this 16 is? 16 is CIDR block range. It means that 16 bits I'm giving it to the network. Network means like to my AWS. I'm saying that anything which is starting from 10.0. Okay, anything will start from 10.0. Let's say if I create some machine, I have to create a subnetwork, but all the machine will be starting from 10.0 only. I cannot have anything with a different number. This is not possible. So because I have given 16 bits to the network, 10.0 I have given it to the network. So whatever I'm going to create, 8 plus 8, 16, 16 bits I'm giving it to the network. So whatever I'm going to create inside this network will always be started from 10.0. Let's say whatever the number is. Whatever that number is. But it should always be start from 10.0. So that's what a CIDR will do. Classless inter-domain routing. Okay. So, okay. So here, you really do not have to worry much about this CIDR. If you really want to learn about this CIDR, you have to go for networking. There's a small networking. It's a small networking concept. You can get into CIDR and IP ranges. Just read it out from YouTube. You'll understand, but it's not required at all. Okay, because AWS does not demand you to have a networking prior knowledge. Now, okay. Now, this is a network which we are creating up, which is a VPC. I really call VPC as a network only, which is a virtual private cloud. Inside this cloud, okay, we can create a subnetworks. Assume the network as your home, as your house. Okay, inside your house, you have rooms. Now, rooms are isolated with each other. Similarly, this subnetworks, you can have up to 250 subnetworks inside a VPC with 16 SCIDR block range. But what will happen here is this network, okay? This is a subnetwork, subnet 1. This is subnetwork. This is a network within a network. It is a network within a network. This is also subnet 2. This is a network. Again, this is another network under a network. This is my network. Let's say VPC 1. Okay. So this is a network inside VPC 1. Here also VPC 1. But these two are isolated with each other. If you're standing outside here, you will see these are two different networks. But if you're standing here, you will see that these two are separate networks inside this network. Now, what do you think the IP could be? Any number which you feel, can you put it, the IP address of this subnet? It could be anything, but what do you think would be the correct answer? Let's say I will give you three options. A, 10.1.0.0/24, 1.0.0.0, sorry, 10.0.1.0/24, 10. Okay, or 172.0.0.0/24. What do you think would be the correct answer? The answer should be B. Because I told you very clearly that anything will be starting. Okay, anything, whatever it will be inside this network should always start from 10.0. So it is not starting from 10.0. This is the complete different IP only. Now, if you look at it, if I give it this IP address, if I give that 10.0.1 here, if I give this IP 10.0.1.0/24, you can easily identify this belongs to VPC1. This is a subnet which is a part of VPC1, which is inside the VPC1, absolutely. Okay. And if I create any machine inside it, you can create up to 250 resources inside this network, inside this subnetwork. So it will always be having that range. Any number. This should be 0 to 255. It's 255. So within this subnetwork, I can have anything starting from 10.0.1 because 8 plus 8 plus 8, 8, 16, 24. This will remain the same. It defines that it belongs to VPC1 and subnet 1. Right? It belongs to VPC1 and subnet 1. Similarly, if I put 10.0.2.0/24, It means 10.0 means VPC1, it belongs to VPC1. And if any resource is created up, let's say 22, any machine with a private IP is this number. It means that it belongs to VPC1 and it belongs to subnet 2. Whatever resources will be created in the subnet 1 will be starting from 10.0.0 because 8 plus 8 plus 8, 8 bits, 68, 16, 24 bits. I'm giving it to the network. So this 3, I'm giving it to the network. And whatever, then that's the reason whatever will be created up, it will, these 3 numbers will remain the same. Only the NAS number will change. And it can range up to 0 to 255. Are you getting at least confirm? Anyone who is not understanding? Okay, so when you look at the subnet is nothing but a subnetwork. It's a subnetwork inside the network. Subnet is basically a subnetwork inside the network. This is a subnet. Maximum 255 subnets, 250 subnets. 5 is given to, is being utilized by AWS. So 250 you can create subnets in this situation. Anyone who is not understood any of these part till this point, you have to note it down. Just note it down in different ranges because I will keep adding up the resources in this. Okay. Just note this part also down, this part also down, and write it. I will take you 2 minutes. Take your time and note it down. You will not find this explanation anywhere. Custom VPC could have any number. Okay, it could be 172.10.0.0/16. You can put it 192.0.0, any number that's 16. You can have 8.0.0.0. In Netflix, we used to have this. Let's say 16. So it could be any number. It's not a problem. You can have a range from like 0 to 192. Okay. That's a normal IP address. You can define a normal IP address by yourself. Please note it down, Rahul, first. Yeah, it does not matter. Okay. Yes, you can select 16, 24, 32, but here, if you're selecting 24, in that case, you will not be able to create multiple subnets because the range will be fixed. No, 10.0.0, you are giving it to the network. So that's the reason 16 is the most optimal number. 32 will not be allowed. Okay, Pichi? But yeah, you're absolutely right. 16, 24, 32, we can use it. Even others also, we can use other numbers also. But that calculation, you have to convert to binary and then do that calculation. I'm also not much sure about that calculations. That can be done from internet, like directly. There are websites. Okay. Now, we can create, in this situation, I can create 250 subnets. It can go up to 250. Maximum 250 subnets. Could be less also, it could be more also. Okay, I'm deleting it now. So now we have created, okay, we have created these things. Okay. Now, here, the subnet is there, subnetwork is there. Okay. Wherein we are going to now, we can create an internet gateway. If the traffic is coming from the internet, we can create an internet gateway. Internet gateway. Okay. Now, what internet gateway gives, or the traffic, whatever is coming from the internet, okay, whatever traffic is coming from the internet will be coming from the internet gateway only. So what does it do? An internet gateway allows instances in public subnet. Now, what is a public subnet? The network to which we are going to connect the internet, because it is a possibility that you have a website and you have a database. So database, you cannot put it to a network way or to a subnetwork which is connected to internet. So we will create a public and the private. I will come to that part. So instances in public subnet, okay, to communicate with the internet, Okay. So we are going to connect it. We are going to create an internet gateway and we are going to connect it. Now we will define a routing or route tables, basically a router. We are going to create a router, which is defined by the route table. So we are going to create a router. It provides the proper, or it provides the path of the incoming and outgoing traffic and outgoing traffic, and is decided, or it is decided by route tables. There is a route tables which we are going to create. So for example, for this subnet, we will have a route table. Which means that we will have that route table. In that, we will have the source and the destination, or we will have the, like, it's connected to VPC, and whatever traffic is coming within the VPC, it will able to talk to it. But if I want to ensure that whatever traffic is coming from the internet, if I have some website running here, okay, if I have some website running here, so I can give that, okay, the traffic coming from internet gateway will also be allowed here. So whatever traffic is coming from the internet gateway will also be coming up here. So whatever resources, whatever machines will be created up, they will have inside this subnet one, they will have the internet connectivity. Okay, so because we are giving the In route table, we are telling that traffic coming from internet is also allowed. Traffic coming from internet is allowed. Allowed here. Okay. Your understanding, please confirm yes or no. Okay. Now, here, very simple. I just have to, router is like a path. Okay. So it's saying that whatever traffic is coming from the internet, a person from internet will only open the website. So traffic is coming from the internet, where it should go. It is decided by the router, and router is created via route table. We create a route tables to create a router. Okay. But let's say you have a database also. So you have a database. Let's say you have created a database, RDS or database instance. Now, we don't want to connect it to the internet. Okay, there is no connectivity. I don't want to connect to the internet because hacker will only enter via internet only. So we do not want to connect. We do not want to give the internet access to this database server. We do not want to give internet access to the database server. So in that case, in the route table, when I will create, or when we will create, we will not give the internet. We'll say the traffic is coming from the VPC or whatever the VPC ID is, 10.0.0.0/16. Here also 10.0.0/16. So that's the only thing we are giving. We are not giving internet. So whatever traffic is coming from internet will only come here. These machines will not have any internet connections. Yes or no? Are you getting it? Please confirm. So such type of network, which is connected to the internet, we call it as a public subnet. Subnetworks which is connected to the internet is known as public subnet. Okay, so public subnet is basically a subnet that has a route to the internet. Okay, a subnet that has a route to the internet gateway, allowing instances inside subnet to access from internet. Then we have a private. This would be the private, which is it does not have any internet connectivity. So that's what we call it as a private subnet. Private does not have any internet connectivity. So in this way, now, since these two subnets are a part of same networks, they can talk to each other. This website need to talk to this database. Obviously, a website need to talk to the database. They can easily talk to each other. Hope you are understanding. Please take a note of it and tell me if you have any doubts in anything here. We are doing a step by step, not just rushing off on the conclusion here. I think everyone is saying clear only, but anyone who is not cleared, please tell me. I cannot read your mind. I can only understand whenever you write it in the chat. Because others are able to understand. So if you're missing out on anything, please do let me know. In VPC instances, we get update or we need to attach the public subnet. In VPC instances, no, VPC, you need to create a subnet, and in subnet, if your route table have the internet gateway, it will be connected to the internet. Otherwise not. Okay. But in your default VPC, we get the internet connection by default only. Yes, we have to configure the route from the, we have to configure the path from the router only. So the traffic is coming from the internet. It's like a red light signal, which will tell you where the traffic should go. So if you have connected it to, if the traffic is coming from internet, it will go here because we have defined the path that internet gateway, IGW is internet gateway. So it is defining that, okay, the traffic coming from internet gateway should be going to this location. So if let's say you're talking about Netflix application is running here and the Netflix database is running here. So I don't want the Netflix database to be accessible from the internet. It would be a big blunder if a hacker gets inside it. Database is the most important part of any company, right? So in this way, we can configure it. Got it, Auruk? Is there any latency? No, there is no latency as such. There are two networks only. The latency which is there in this communication between this database machine and website machine, which could be like in nanoseconds, that might be there, but human mind cannot read nanoseconds actually. What is the way to access that? I will cover. I will tell you what's the way. Got it? Yes or no? Okay. Now we got it till this point. Now, what if, just tell me, I will delete, I will make some space. Okay. NACL is nothing but the firewall at a subnetwork level, subnets. So there's a firewall across the subnet. So in the diagram, it does not make any sense, right? It's like a security across the machine. Same way you have a security group provides a security across the machine. Same way NACLs is there, which will provide the security at a subnet level. Okay. NACL like it's same as security group. The only thing is you have a deny rules also, wherein you can say that, okay, this particular traffic or traffic coming from this source should not be allowed to enter inside my subnet. Let's say I don't want traffic coming from China, okay, to enter inside my system. So that can be denied. Or I don't want like some traffic from some fake source. I want to deny that. So that can be taken care from NACL, which is similar to the security group of your machine. Okay. But at a subnet level. Now, let's suppose I want to give the internet connectivity to this machine. Database, this machine does not have any internet connectivity. This machine does not have any internet connectivity. This machine does not have any internet connectivity. From internally also, let's say my developer wants to do some patching work or some installation need to be done. Some software installation need to be done in this machine. Okay. Which, so my developer need to do some installation, but this does not connect. It's not connected to any network or sorry, to any internet. So this machine does not have any internet connectivity from inside or outside. But in case I want to access internet from inside the machine. From inside the machine, we will use NAT, which is a network access translator. So what is a NAT is? NAT gateway. Okay. So what is a NAT gateway is network access translator. Okay, it's a device. It's a proper device which is there. Now, what is this device will do? Okay, it allows instances in the private network to access the internet while keeping them protected from any traffic, any internet traffic from outside. So network gateway, I don't have a space here. Where should I write? I will write it here. Okay. I'm deleting it. Okay. So network access translator. It is a, okay. What does it do? It will basically allows instances in the private subnet to access the internet while keeping them protected from inbound traffic from internet. So network access translator will prevent the traffic, okay, or will prevent any traffic coming from outside. Someone wants to establish a connection with this database from the internet, will not be able to do it. But it will from inside the machine. If I want to access any website, I will be able to do it. So we create a network exit. It's a hardware. It's a proper hardware, very costly. It's very costly, so you have to delete it. It's a network gateway, NAT gateway, which I'm going to create. And we will connect it. We will connect it. We will connect this data with this machine with the NAT gateway. Okay. What happens here is, okay. So what happens here is the NAT gateway, first of all, should be created in the public subnet. NAT gateway is always created in the public subnet because first of all that it should be connected to the internet, right? Here so there is no connection only, no, this path is not even there. So that's one of the reasons. Also, one major thing which NAT provides is it does not allow any inbound rule. Inbound rule is traffic generated from outside. If someone from the internet, someone wants, it's a hacker is getting inside your system, okay, and if he tries to enter, he can only enter via NAT gateway. If he tries to enter inside your system, this NAT gateway will stop. It says, I don't have any process to establish any inbound rule. So only from inside I can connect. But from outside, if I try to establish a connection with this database machine, I will not be able to create it, or I will not be able to connect it. So if we want to establish connection from outside, if we try to access this database machine from outside the network or from outside this machine, I will not be able to access it. That's one of the thing. Okay, from the inbound rule, which is the traffic which is generated from outside. Understanding, please confirm yes or no. Just confirm it, yes or no. Okay. Take a note of it, then I will tell you one more thing. Done. Now I'm deleting it. Now, suppose you have a multi-region architecture. It's not very like, it does not actually happen in the case of AWS, but let's suppose you have two networks, two separate networks, let's say, in two different regions. Okay, let's say I will take one example. In Mumbai region, you have a Netflix you have a Netflix major application running up. And in North Virginia region, you have a Netflix customer care application. Now, customer care have a separate application. They have a separate application for customer care. It's very powerful applications. Every company you pick it up, Amazon or anything, they have all your data. It's a very powerful applications, but it's completely hosted on a different uh, infrastructure. Now, in this case, okay, let's say I have this kind of thing. Okay, I have a machine here. Okay, this machine need to talk to this machine. Let's have to take some data from this machine. But these are two different networks. I cannot establish, or this does not have even have a public IP because it's a private machine. It's a database machine. Let's say it's a private subnet. It's a database machine. So in this case, we will take the help of a peering connection. Peering connection. Wherein we establish the connection, we will say this is a source. It will request the connection here to this machine via the private network. Okay, via the private network, and it will give an output. So in this way, we can connect. VPC peering is basically, we can establish a peering connection with two VPCs. In the case of VPC peering, we can establish the connection between two VPCs to allow them to communicate with each other privately, even if they are in different regions. Even if they are in different AWS regions. Okay, check it out. Now, to create a VPC, uh, how we will work on it, okay? To create a VPC, we will first create a VPC. Okay, then we will create a subnet. This is the steps. Okay, then we will create a subnet or subnets. Okay, and give the IP address to subnets and give, let's say, 10 example. This is just an example, okay? 16 and give IP address to subnets. Let's say 10.0.1.0/24 and 10.0.2.0/24. This is just an example, okay? Just when you practice it, it would be easy for you. Then we will create a internet gateway. Internet gateway and connect it to the subnetwork. Okay. Connected to the VPC, sorry. Then the fourth point would be okay. After this is being done, guys, we will create a route tables, create routing tables. We need to create two route tables. One route table can be shared between multiple subnets, but one subnet I want to make it private and one need to be public. If I have more public subnets, I can use the same route table between multiple subnets also. Okay. Create route table. In one route table, I will provide internet route internet route, which I will connect, which I will connect to the, okay, create a route table. In the one route table, I will provide internet route, which I will connect it to first subnet. In other route table, which would be my private route table, in other route table, we will not give internet connectivity. Internet connectivity. Now here it will be defined that it's a public subnet and private subnet. In other route table, we will not give the internet connectivity. So, and associated with 10.0.2.024. It's a public private subnet. Now the subnet will act as a private subnet. Subnet will act as private subnet. And after that, we will create the resources. After this, we will create the resources. After this, we will create resources like EC2 machine in the public and private subnet. And I will show you how to access them. Are you getting it? Please confirm yes or no. Please confirm yes or no. Please take a note of it. This is a process. Okay. So what I understood, there is a route table per subnet. No, you can have multiple route tables associated with a single subnet. Okay. You can have multiple route tables also, Ernest. You can have, like, we are creating two route tables. No, one route table here and other route table here. Two route table in the same VPC. Let's say if you have four subnets. Now, managing and creating four route table is very difficult, no? Because let's suppose two are public subnet and two are private subnet. So I will create only two route table. One will give the path from internet, one will not give the path from internet, and I will connect it to the two subnets. Two subnets public and two subnet private. So that is absolutely possible. Okay. Network gateway I have connected, no? NAT gateway, no. NAT gateway is a separate thing, Richie. NAT gateway you will only be creating on the request basis because it will cost you around $5,000 to $6,000. So you will only be creating on the request basis from the client. Let's say there is a patching work, you need it overnight, you will just give it for overnight and next day you will remove it. Because it's a very costly resource. Like in our company, though, we rarely use it. We use it only during the patching work, which happens like once in a month. Now, no, it's expensive because it's a hardware device. It's a proper hardware device which is there. Okay. And one is being associated to a single VPC. So that's the reason. It takes a lot of space also. Okay. So let's move ahead. And we will create a VPC. So we can go to the VPC here. It's isolated cloud resources. Go to the VPC. Before that, I will upload the notes also for you. Okay, everything is there inside it. I will share it with you. Did we see in the yesterday? Okay, we can have a break now. Okay, I'm putting the link. But subnet is given as this. Okay, let me cross check if it is wrong. Someone might have updated it actually. Let me check. 10. Okay. It's 10.0.1 only. Someone, I might have given someone the editor access, no? So that person might have put it like this. See, it's 10 point. In screenshot, it's there, no? 10 point IPv6 So it's 10.0. Okay, use this one. Thank you for the, yeah, thank you for that. Okay. Now, I will go to the VPC. Okay, I already have a default VPC. You can see you will also have a default VPC. Default VPC as yes. Now I will be creating a custom VPC. So I will go to the VPC. I will search for the VPC from the top. Okay, there I will click on this your VPC. Here I will be clicking on this create a new VPC, wherein I will create a new VPC itself. Now here I will give the VPC the name. Okay, any name you can give it, my VPC, or I can say my production, or I can have my testing VPC application name. Whatever the application name is there, you can just simply put it like that. Okay. Now in IPv4, I can use IPAM allocated, wherein it will just be allocating it from the pool of IPv4 available addresses, or I can select it by myself. So that's what is the preferred option, wherein I will be selecting the CIDR range from myself, or CIDR IP from myself. So you can select any one of them. Let's say I can select 110.0 points, any other number. Let's say I'll use 20.07. Okay, /60. So 20.07 is like 20 July something. So that, or I can put today's date, 10.11. Okay. So today's date is 10/11, right? So I can put today's date also. Now here, what will happen is whatever will be created inside this subnet, it will always will be starting from 10.0 because 8 plus 8, 16 bits I have given it to the network. So I just will be giving it like this. As of now, I'm not using IPv6, but if you're using IPv6, I can select the option. As of now, next 4-5 years, you really don't have to worry about IPv6. Tenancy, there is two tenancy types. One is a dedicated and one is a default. Now, what is the meaning of a dedicated tenancy and what is a default tenancy? If I show it here, you will see dedicated and default is there. So we have dedicated tenancy means the resources, okay, resources will be allocated to you. You only in case you do not, okay, allocated to you in case you are not using it as well. If in not in use, it will not be allocated to someone else. Let's say internet gateway, it will be dedicatedly available only for you. So billables will be really higher. Billables would be higher, but your resources would be dedicatedly for you. The resources will be dedicated and will be working only for you. Because, and here you will be paying for 24/7. In default one, if a resource is not in use, what happens in AWS is whenever you're not using any resource, it would be allocated to someone else. So if the resource is not in use, it will be allocated. It would be allocated to someone else. And whenever you need it, a new resource will be allocated to you. Let's say internet gateway, if you're not using it, if no one is visiting your website, it would be allocated to someone else. Your billable will not be there that time. But as soon as the traffic start coming up, the new internet gateway would be assigned to you and you will then be charged. So if a resource is not in use, it will be allocated to someone else. Otherwise, and your billables can be reduced. Pay per use basis, basically default is pay per use, and dedicated is like you will be paying for 24/7. Complete bill you have to pay. That's the dedicated one. Default is like it's a default tenancy which is there, wherein whenever you're not using any resource, it will be allocated to someone else. For now, I can just scroll down and I will create a VPC. Okay. And what was the next thing which I need to create? What was the next thing which I need to create? Subnets. Now we will be going to the subnet. Okay. And we will create a subnet. Okay. Subnet is basically this subnet is basically a network or which I'm going to create within this network. So it's a sub network which is created in within the network, sub network. Okay. So create it. Now it will ask you in which the sub network is a part of a network. So which particular network this sub network should be created up. So I can select 10.11, this testing VPC. Okay. 10.11. Now this is a subnet one. I can just name it. I can just simply give it a name as subnet one. Okay. If we want to, if you have a priority that this particular subnet should be created in this specific machine, you can select it. You can select you can prioritize it. But okay, but if you put no preference, then in any availability zone, this particular subnet will be created up. Now here, this will decide that what is the IP address of your VPC. And here I can tell 10.11 that will remain the specs because my IP, the CIDR range is 16 for my VPC. So 10.11, which means 8 plus 8, 16 bits should remain constant. I can put 1.0/24, which means this subnet will have the resources which will always start from 10.11.1. 10 like 8 plus 8 plus 8 16 is equal to 8 plus 8 16 plus 8 24. So 24 bit I'm giving it to the subnet. So whatever resources would be there, it will belong to the subnet one, which will start from 10.11.1. Hope you are understanding. Please confirm. Now, yes, only 250 sub machines, 255 machines in a subnet. Okay. Now, here I will be just simply, I have already explained you in the theory. All these things I have explained you in the theory part. Okay. As such, there is no limit. Create a subnet. Okay. We have created one subnet. Similarly, I will create one more subnet because later on I will be dividing them on the basis of public and the private subnets. So for now, I will create one more subnet. Inside this VPC, my VPC 1, I will say subnet 2. Okay. Availability zone would be no preference. Here I will select 10 point. Oh, sorry. I've selected the wrong VPC. It would be 10.11.2.0/24. So it's two different subnetworks within this network 10.11. Okay. Within the network 10.11. So we have a network which is 10.11.0.0/16, which means 10.11, which will remain constant. So I'm creating two different subnets with this IP. So whatever resources will be created up here, it will be, let's say, 10.11.1 point any number. It will have this IP address. Whereas this will be created like this. Let's say 20. So you will easily understand. It belongs to this VPC. 1 means this subnet 1. It belongs to this VPC. 2 means this subnet 2. Easily. It's like an address. Addressing them. Okay. So we can define the subnet 2 as well, wherein we can say that it will be, or it will have that range of 10.11.0.0, so that's 16. That's an IP address of the VPC, and then in the subnet 2, the IP would be 10.11.2.0/24. Given the same name only. This one. Change the name. So I have two subnets, subnet 1.1 and subnet 2.2. Now, what's the next step? I've already written it for you. What's the next step? You will be creating an internet gateway. Okay, so we will create an internet gateway here. So let's go ahead and create an internet gateway. So here, my internet, any internet gateway will be created. Let's say whatever application name is there, internet gateway. I can create it. So it's just an internet gateway which I'm creating up. So let's create it. I've already done the steps for you. So we have this internet gateway. Now it's just a simple internet gateway. We need to connect. We can attach it to a VPC. Okay, so we have created the internet gateway, but we need to attach this internet gateway to a VPC. We need to attach the internet gateway to VPC. So this attached to VPC option is there. So I will be attaching it to the VPC. Or else, if you see it's detached, I can go to the action and also attach it from here. So I can select the gateway, go to actions and attach it to the VPC, or else earlier I was getting that option to attach it. If by chance you miss that option, you can later on also go to actions and attach it. It will ask me to which VPC. You cannot attach two internet gateways to a single VPC. You cannot attach two internet gateway to single VPC. That's one thing you need to remember. Two internet gateway cannot be connected to the single VPC. Okay. Now I will attach. I hope you are understanding till this point. We created a VPC. We created a subnet. We created a VPC. We created two subnets. We created subnet 1, subnet 2. We created internet gateway. Now route table, and we will associate the subnets. Now we will create route table and associate subnets. Associate subnet inside it. Let's do it and clear it. And let's go ahead. We create a route table. So I will be creating two route tables. One like In the public route table, I will give internet gateway. In the private route table, I will not give the internet gateway. So I will select and create it. Route table. It is a part of this testing VPC. Create a router. Simple app. There is nothing it will ask. Later on, we have to edit all the routes. We have to associate it with the subnet. It's just creating it. So after creation, we will be adding up the routes, creating the route table. We will add the routes. Okay. After creating the route table, we will add the routes and also associate the subnet. Like we need to tell no which subnet it belongs to or this which subnet it will provide this particular path to. So we need to do it. We need to perform this activity. Let's go ahead. Now, okay, this is now active. This is now active, which is there. Okay. Now, I will go to the subnet association. Like I have this route. I will go to the subnet association. Okay. I will go to the routes. I have this route ready. I will go to the subnet and I will say that, okay, this is a subnet which is there. So I will edit the subnet association. I will say, see, this is a route. Let's say I want to give the internet connectivity also. This is a route table, no? So public route table, I need to, in the route, I need to give the internet connection also, which means traffic coming to internet from internet. Okay. So here it will allow like to whatever subnet I'm going to connect this route table, it will allow the traffic coming from internet. So to whatever subnet, we will allow this route table. Okay, to whatever subnet we will allow this route table, it will be connected to internet. It will be connected to internet and internet connection is coming from the internet gateway. So I need to edit this route and I need to tell that, okay, the traffic coming from internet should be allowed. The traffic, whatever traffic is coming from the internet should be allowed here. So I will just simply go to edit the routes. I will add a new route saying that traffic coming from anywhere to this internet gateway. I will just simply select the internet gateway. That's it. I've added a route saying that the traffic would be coming from the internet gateway. So what will happen is, so I have the subnets. Okay, right now I'm creating a route table. Okay, and later on I will associate this route table with the subnet. So what it will do, the traffic coming from internet will come up here. It's just giving a path that traffic coming from the internet gateway should be allowed to the subnet. This route table would be associated with it. So the traffic coming from internet would be allowed to the traffic coming from a internet. Okay. So no, it's not covering the whole VPC, dear. It's a two different path. It's a two different path. This is like, this is the route table belongs to this VPC. The route table belongs to this VPC. Okay. And this route table will have, it will allow like to whatever subnet we are going to associate this route table, it will have the internet connectivity. So to whatever subnet we will connect this route table to who will have internet connectivity, right? This is what it defines. Okay. Yes. So we'll take a is the route table in the AWS for the route with subnet to the internet, vice versa. Vice versa, Janardhan. I've explained it in the theory also, right? It's a vice versa. That's the reason why we are using the net gateway later on. Okay, in two way, it will provide two-way support. The machines will also be able to talk to internet via internet gateway. Save the changes. Okay, so we have added a route here. Now I need to associate it with the subnet. We need to associate with the subnet also. So we will associate public route table with subnet. Now I will go to the subnet association, edit the subnet association, and I will say, so what I have done, let's say this is my route table. I will go to the subnet association and I will associate with the subnet. I will say that edit subnet association. Just give me 1 minute. Sorry. This is wrong. No, I need to delete it. Give me 1 minute. Sorry. Otherwise, I will forget it later on. I will upload it for you. I will select it to the subnet one and save the association. Okay. So what I have done, I have associated this route table with the public route table with subnet one. So, okay. So whatever traffic is coming to any machine which is created inside the subnet one will be able to communicate with the internet. So I will be keeping that front end of my application, all those stuff in the subnet, in the public subnet. All other things will be kept in the private subnet. So I will create a private subnet table also. I will say okay. There I will select the testing VPC app name. Okay, I will just give the VPC name. Okay. I don't want any internet connectivity. It's a private subnet, so I will not change anything here. This subnet is connected to the internet. Okay, and I need to do a subnet association. We'll be saying that it need to be, or I need to connect the subnet number 2. So I'm creating 2 route tables. One I have connected to the public subnet, and another one I'm connecting to the second subnet, which would be act as a private subnet for me, where I will create the database machines or the machines which I don't want to have the internet connectivity. Some very important data is there, some files are there, which I don't want to be accessible from the internet. I can create it in the private subnet. Okay. Subnet association. I will edit the subnet association and I will say that it will have that subnet number 2. You got it till this point. Please confirm yes or no. Okay. It's an easy task. Last step is not clear. Which step is not clear? Creating a route table or associating the subnet. Associating it to a subnet. Okay. With the public one, it was clear, Shyam, when I explained for the public one. So how it is different than what we have done for the public? We created a private table, private subnet, okay, route table. We went to the subnet association. We added the subnet association and we selected subnet 2. Subnet 1, we have selected the, we have already selected the, I have associated both of them right now, but yes, this was connected to the, you see public route table. This I am connecting it to the private one now, right? Save association. I will repeat it. No problem. I have to repeat from beginning then. Just a minute. Let me think how to. Okay. Which part you have not understood? Creating the route table itself you have not understood. I will repeat from beginning. Okay, I'm deleting it. No problem. Please listen to me properly because I'm feeling that you're not listening. So I have to delete. It's not getting deleted. Just a minute. So just remove that subnet association. And then for private also I will remove that subnet association. See what I'm doing. I've removed it. See what I'm doing is I have this VPC. Okay, I've removed that association here. Now I can delete that, but it's fine. See, now I have this VPC. This is two subnets. This is subnet 2. Okay. I have an internet gateway. This is a route table. This is a router. Okay. Route table is defined from the route tables. So I'm creating two route tables. First of all, I'm creating route table 1. Table 1, which is connected to the internet. Which is target is 10.11.0.0/16 VPC. That says that it is a part of this VPC, this route table. And I will say traffic coming from any source. Anyone who opens this or who tries to access the machines inside this subnet should be using internet gateway, should be coming from the internet gateway. Okay. Now I will edit the routes. First, I will create the route table. Okay. I will make it as a public route table. Okay. Public route table. Now, first we will create a route table. Okay. Second thing is we will create we will edit the routes. We will edit the routes. Edit the routes or routes, whatever you want to call it. Okay, edit the routes to and add the traffic and add traffic coming in and out from the internet, coming in out from internet gateway. Internet gateway. So I will edit this route, this one, and add this route. Now I need to associate. Now we will associate this public route table with, okay, now we will associate this public route table with with the, we will associate this public route table with the with the subnet, which is subnet 1, which will be act as a public subnet now. It will act as a public subnet because I've connected this public route table. So we are going to associate it. Here also we will create a private route table. We'll create a private route table which does not have any internet connectivity. So there you will see 10.11.0.0/16 VPC. Okay. And we will associate it with the subnet 2. We'll associate it with the subnet 2, which is subnet association, which comes from the subnet association. So the traffic coming from here, it will check, okay, we have a public route table. I'm allowed here. So it will go and it will access. The machines will be able to talk to the internet. And if there is a front-end application running up, we will be able to access it from the internet. Now, those who are not able to understand, are you getting it? These are the steps we need to follow. Okay, we created the route table, we edited the route, and then the third step, last step, which we did was we associated the subnet. Three major steps, basic steps we have done it. Very, very simple steps. Okay. Yes, second route table will not have it because it's a private one, no Sham. Private does not have internet, that there is no concept of then private, right? You are getting my point. Yes, yes, yes. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely correct here. Okay. Anything else? How will my DB in private? That I will tell you. How do you read this subnet to route table? How will my DB? So these two machines, okay, in two, they are part of same network, so they will be able to talk to each other because they are part of same networks. Two machines, okay, one in public, one in private, they will be able to talk via the private network, via the private IP because they belong to the same network. Okay. No, we don't have to configure it. Since they are part of same network, I will show you that also. They will be able to talk to each other. Okay. Because this machine, so we will not have any public IP also. Actually, today I didn't got that time. Okay. I was actually thinking of it, but repeating this part actually took build some time today. I will cover that part in the next class. It's there in my documentation. Okay. That complete process is there. How to connect the machine from one machine. That complete process is there. The VPC network. Yes, yes, Ernest. Absolutely. Okay. So we have now, see, I will just delete them. I will recreate it. See, I will create two subnets, two route tables now. Okay, two route tables I will create it. Let's say this is the public route table. Okay, it is this, it belongs to this VPC. Create a route. We have created a route table. Okay. Now this is a route table. What I have done, see, the first step I have done it. First, we will create a route table. Absolutely, we have created a route table. Yes, we have created a route table. Then what was the next step? We will edit the routes and add traffic. We will edit the routes and add traffic coming from internet. I'm creating a public route table. I need to add it. You can take a screenshot of it. Okay. But yes, this is what we will do. The next step, we will edit the routes. Let's see. We will edit the routes. See, we have created it. Now we will edit the routes. We will add a route. 0.0 means any source. If you will open the machines, okay, if you try to access the internet, the website running in the machine, which is created in that public subnet, which I am going to associate it with, you will also be able to access. 0 means like anyone can use the internet gateway to access the application altogether later on. So IGW is internet gateway and save the change. This internet gateway I have created just before this. Okay, we created internet gateway, right? So it's the same internet gateway and save the change. Now, what's the third step? We have edited the route. We have added up this route. Now it's look like this. Now we will associate this public with the subnet. We will do a association. Yes, we will now do a association. So let's do an association, subnet association, right? Simple. Edit the subnet association. So what we are doing, we are telling that this subnet is connected to this route table. We are going to associate. If you see here, we are going to associate. So let's see how we can associate. We have created route table. We have provided a route, but we have not told that which this route table will be associated to which subnet. So I will edit the subnet association. I will select subnet 1 and I will save the association. Now the subnet 1 will be acting as a public subnet. Okay. Similarly, so we have done the third step also. We have associate the subnet. We have associated with the subnet 1. Similarly, I will create a private table and I will associate with the subnet. You got it? Please confirm yes or no. This part you are getting it. I'm explaining you with the diagram only. Okay. Same thing I will do. First, I will create a route table. Let's do it. I will go to the route table. I will create a route table. I will say private route table. I am putting today's date because I think the next class will be on Monday. And I will also forget. You will also forget. So we will both will forget like the names. So we have to remember. So just I'm keeping the dates. Now, here testing VPC, just remember that we are using testing VPC. That's the only thing. So testing VPC and create a route table. We have created the route table. Okay. But we don't need to edit it because we don't have to add any rule here. So second step will not be required because we do not have to add any internet gateway. We do not have to add any internet gateway like this thing, path, okay, whatever you want to call it. So I don't have to actually, in this second step is not required because already it will look like this. I'll show you 10.11.0.16 VPC. I'll show you. It will actually look like this 10.11.0.16. It's a part of VPC. Fine. I will go to the subnet. I will just be doing a subnet association. What I'm doing, I will associate the subnet. So I'm going to do a subnet association now. Okay. And I'm going to connect with the subnet 2. Now it will act as a private subnet. So I will connect it. I will edit the subnet association and I will say it will be a part of subnet 2. Okay. And I will save the subnet. I will save the association. You will see now I have subnet 2, which is a part of private route table. As private route table does not have any internet gateway, traffic coming from any internet gateway. So whatever resources ultimately I'm going to create in the subnet 2, whatever EC2 machine I'm going to create it in the subnet 2 will not have any internet connection. Got it? Please confirm. Till here you have understood. Please say yes or no. I'm uploading the sheet. Okay. Just practice it once. You will not face any kind of issues as such. Can subnet 2 connect to subnet 1 using the route table? No, they will directly be able to connect. Saurabh. All the subnets, all the resources in all the subnets in the same network, in the same VPC will be able to talk to each other. Okay. Okay, we will see the NAT gateway that is required. Okay. We'll see the NAT gateway also. Just one small video, I'm sharing it with you. Just have a look at it. Yeah, NAT we will do. Okay. Here, I think in this sheet also NAT gateway you will find it. Try to practice it. I think NAT gateway I have done it. See, this is how the connection will happen. All these things are present up. Yes, here it is. We will, how we can connect to internet to the private machine without using the internet gateway. We will use the NAT gateway. That lab is also there. We will cover it in the next class. We didn't got that much of time. Okay, but try to do it once. Try to do it. See, it's a lab. Okay. Try to do it. Once you will practice it. So, okay. Yeah. Just delete it in 5 minutes. Yeah. 5 minutes. 5-10 minutes lab is there. Okay. Yes, it's same. Yes, Gopal. Absolutely. Okay. You can practice this. It's a good lab. And this video also you can just have a look at it. I think guys, that would be all. Any questions you can ask? Please practice. You have 2 days. I want you to practice it. Yes, NAT gateway, Gopal will give the internet connectivity, okay, to the machines which are present in the private subnet. And the best part about it is from outside, no one will be able to establish a connection to your machines in the private subnet. So hacking chances are not almost zero in that case. Can you please share the link again? Absolutely, I can share the link again. I will share you just a minute. Okay. Okay. These are the things. Rahul, I will upload it today, dear. Okay. I will upload it today. The theoretical part, I will upload it. Okay? By end of the day today, you will find it there. You can just take it out. Charges are not very high. 5-10 minutes use it. It's fine. Okay. 5-10 minutes will not cost you any specific thing. You can have a look at the VPC video which I have created up as well on the YouTube. Okay. You can just have a look at it. It will give you a very good idea. Thank you guys. I think that would be all for today. Let's meet in the next class. Bye bye. Take care.